Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the nidici Qian-H 5.5-inch frame, and this is how it's spelled. It's a 5.5-inch frame. I believe this is also sold as a 5-inch frame, and also I believe arms are they might be available for bigger ones, maybe 6-7 inches. I'm not 100% sure. I know definitely 5.5 inches is definitely available. This is kind of like a Mode 2 Ghost inspired type frame. It's very similar looking, similar construction as well. There's not a whole lot of parts here. It's pretty basic. I mean, it's really the design is super simple. You just have a bottom plate. You have two arms in the front and the back, and they're actually two pieces. And you have a very simple top plate. Very low rider. Its standoffs are super short, and yeah, I'll get measurements for all this stuff here. So the bottom plate is 3 millimeters. Top plate is 2 millimeters. The arms are 5.2 millimeters thick, and they're 8.3 millimeters wide. And the standoff is 20 millimeters. So to install the screws and nuts and bolts and stuff, obviously you'll need to put it together. You get a battery strap, and you get these little arm bumpers. Probably I'm not going to use this because I'm probably going to make an ultralight build. And then you get the little more 3D printed parts for the camera mount, and then this little piece in the back for the SMA connector for your FPV antenna. I think this might be optional, but you probably don't need this for the camera. You also get some pretty nice instructions here. It shows all the screws and nuts and stuff, parts you'll need, along with where they go. A little explosion diagram. It's pretty simple to put together. You can see here you get two arms, bottom plate, 4 standoffs, and a top plate. Yeah, not a whole lot there. So I'll just put this together real quick here, and then we'll get some more measurements on the motor distance and stuff like that, and get a weight measurement. Okay, so here it is all together, fully assembled, and I'd say it's a pretty simple design. You just get 4 arms and 2 plates, and I think you just have, 2 long screws here. One goes into a lock nut, one goes into a standoff here. So 2 screws per arm, and then you have the 4 on top. So it literally takes 5 minutes to put together, and it should be pretty easy to do arm replacements as well. You just have 2 screws here, and you can pop an arm out if you break one and put one new in. So it's going to be pretty good for field maintenance. I have to say the carbon on here is, pretty good. I think it's about $50 for the frame, and all the edges are chamfered. All the carbon has been washed. There's no carbon dust, which is very nice, and it looks like all the cuts are very good. The frame itself is very, very stiff. There's no play. The arms don't bend at all. It's 5 millimeters. Obviously, on a really hard crash, you might be able to break one of these skinny arms. It doesn't weigh a whole lot, so there shouldn't be too much mass in terms of momentum and breakage if you hit something pretty hard, because it should be fairly light if you build it with lightweight components. Yeah, it's no complaints on the carbon. It's it's not as cheap as it's cheap looking as some of the real ACC ones. They're around $30. So I think they're using a little bit better cutters, and they're doing a little bit better post-processing, cleaning it up and stuff. So you pay a little extra for that, so keep that in mind. But I like the way the frame looks. It's a pretty elegant design, pretty simple, and goes together really well. And I think it'll fly pretty good. We'll have to see. I might be building this out at some point in the future. But at this point, I'll go ahead and I'll give you some measurements. Okay, so first off, here's the weight, and it's coming at 67.8 grams, so about 68 grams. Very lightweight for a 5.5-inch frame, so that's pretty impressive. The motor-to-motor distance is coming at 234 millimeters. The front-to-back distance is about 164 millimeters. And the side-to-side distance is about 167 millimeters. And the amount of space you have between the top plate and the bottom plate is about 25 millimeters. So yeah, not a whole lot of space in here. You probably can put in 2 stacks, maybe 3 if you squeeze it in there, depending on what kind of standoffs you use and other types of hardware, but it could be possible to put 3 boards in there. Obviously you have your camera in here, and I think it's meant for micro cameras only. It's very, very skinny here. I don't think a full-size camera will fit. I think this is actually designed for bottom mounting your batteries. That's why you have these countersunk screws on the bottom here for mounting your 30x30 stack. But I suppose you could use a smaller top mounted battery if you wanted to, if you want to go for like a light setup. Kind of depends on how you like your CG when you're flying. One tip here when you're putting this together is when you want to tighten this screw and this screw here, the standoff will sometimes spin. So what you can do is you can just take two of these Allen wrenches, you put one on the bottom, one on the top, and you can hold the one on the top steady while you tighten the bottom one so that this won't spin. That's what I did for making sure that this particular screw is tight. Obviously you want these to be as tight as possible so that the arm doesn't have any play in it. Otherwise that will cause probably more likely flight issues, and then it will weaken it as well. So you want to make sure that these screws are tight. If you use two Allen wrenches, that will actually you can keep one from spinning, and then you can tighten it up and get it as nice and tight as possible. Anyway, it's going to do first quick review of the Qian-H 5.5-inch frame. I'll put links to the 5-inch frame and the 5.5-inch frame in the description below. Let me know what you guys think of this frame. Comments, and if you have any suggestions on parts, for example, that'd be kind of cool. I would be interested in hearing what you guys might think would be a good build for this. I'm kind of open to suggestions. I have some 2205 motors. Maybe even go down to like a 2204 motor. Maybe try and make something kind of light and maybe not necessarily a fast racer, but something maybe could last, maybe fly for a little bit longer, and maybe not be as noisy, something like that. I don't know. Just open to suggestions, so let me know in the comments below. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.